All right, we're live, guys. What's happening? It's been a while. It's been quite a while, actually. So, life's been busy. I think everybody knows how that goes. Summertime, just doing stuff with the kids, just crazy stuff. So, yeah, it's been a minute. So, figured this is going to be a good one. We got my buddy Jim Hardesty from Paragon coming on. The wild man. He's if you guys that don't know him, he is a blast. He is a blast to hang out with and really good dude. So, yeah, so let's bring him in. There he is. We're live, Jim. What's happening?
Uh-oh.
What's happening, buddy? How are you?
PG-13 or is this full throttle?
It's NC-17, buddy.
WWE.
No filter. Whatever you want to say. No filter here. So.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't cuss it, man.
Yeah, me either.
How you doing, man?
A little bit. I'm living, man. Busy at work. Thank you. You too, man.
Dude, I seen that boy.
Got your makeup did up, or my boy? Yeah.
Oh man, his first medal today.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, he's all.
What was the medal? What did he do?
T-ball. It was for his T-ball. First doing T-ball. So.
I coach it.
I know you do. You do it all. Don't you do football too?
Yep, football, baseball. That's what I come up with.
Yep.
Now, you got your crew right there. You got your boy and your daughter, man. They're awesome.
I appreciate it, man. You too, man. You're doing all. Your son is a beast. I see all his stuff. I see him posting all his stuff. He's hopefully we'll see him in the NFL one day. It would be pretty awesome.
He blows me away. He's bigger than me now. He's 14, 6'2", 120 pounds. Or I'm sorry, 108 pounds. 108 pounds.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy 14. For sure. 14. That's a lot of boy to be running around. So, but what's
208 pounds?
280 pounds?
No, eight.
Oh, holy cow! So, yeah, that's big.
Yeah, he's in there,
man. Linebacker, right? Linebacker.
Where's the smallest shorts he can possibly put on?
Well, that's the style nowadays.
Oh, it's crazy. His balls are going to be showing. I tell you what, like, man, your balls are about to fall out. Dude, go get some shorts on.
The girls, man, they love that, I'm sure. That's the style nowadays.
He's got me talking to start wearing little tight shorts. I'm going to have to start the next show. I'm going to have the small shorts. I'm going to have some of Amber's shorts on.
Next Tinley, you versus Shane. Let's see.
Shane's got some ideas too. No, Shane knows that stuff.
Yeah, he's into all the trends. So anyways, what's new, brother? How's everything going over there? How's all the retics going?
Man, I'm working like a crazy maniac over here.
Yeah.
When I first started, I didn't realize how much this stuff takes. And shoot, I work from sun up to sun. If I'm not coaching, I'm cleaning animals. And it's like, wow.
Well, you got a full-on zoo, though. You don't just do retics, so you got monitors and other anacondas and all sorts of stuff over there, don't you?
I love it all. I come from the old school, man. We had it all. When we grew up, man, you had to have it all. I don't know. I love them all, really. I don't even know which one's my favorite. I like it all.
Well, so been into reptiles then. You've been into reptiles for a minute, I'd imagine.
And well, how it all started, I was always a reptile nut. I've always, when I was 6 or 7, I was catching water bugs. And I had a collection of water bugs, and that's what kind of got me fired up. And it went from the water bugs to the turtles. And my dad would never let me have the snakes. The same story that I hear everybody saying. And I had to hit a home run to get my first snake. And about 9 years old, I hit my first home run, and I got my first ball python. And it was on after that. I had not crocodiles, I had plenty of caimans, alligators, all that.
Wow.
Literally. And then about 16, 17 in high school, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't do it all and play the sports and all that.
Yeah.
So I getting out of it a little bit. Man, I wish I'd have stuck with it. But back then there wasn't, it was different. It was different.
Yeah. What year was that? Like, not trying to call how old you are, but how many years back was that?
Oh shoot! It was when I got out of snakes. Put it this way: albino Burmese was wholesaling at the shows at $65 a piece.
Oh wow!
They were wholesaling. You know what I mean? And I remember them dropping from about 2,000 to 2,500 bucks all the way down to 65 bucks. And you thought you was a rich man to buy you 5 or 6 of them. And that's how it all went down back then. The albino ball pythons and the pies was about 3,500, I think. And then they dropped down to 1,500 to $2,000. And that's about the time I didn't want to pull it out, but I pulled it out to go on and do, which I started construction. I started building, homes and everything. Yeah. But yeah, it was a long time ago. I'm going to say in the 96, 97, somewhere around there. But I was a big old reptile enthusiast ever since I was a kid.
That's very cool. That's awesome. So what I guess, when did you get your first retic, or what kind of transitioned you into getting retics then?
Oh, I had retics when I was a baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had the wild caughts. The wild caughts, I tell you what, back then, they were different. They were a little bit different. You just couldn't figure them out. I still wish I had the one. It was a wild caught. I bought it at a show. I don't know. I probably paid 50, 65 bucks for it.
Wow.
And it was I would love to have this snake. It was almost purple. Had like the iridescence purple. And back then they were solid blood, so you knew it was a different animal. And man, it was the prettiest reed. It was just a normal. It wasn't nothing fancy or nothing like that, but it had a purple sheen to it. And I wish I knew what it was. But then we didn't know. The retic was a retic.
Yeah.
And man, I'll tell you what, it was the prettiest snake I ever seen. It was vicious.
Wonder if it's some weird. It had to be some different locale or something, probably. I would imagine, right? I mean,
it had the same. It had just a normal pattern,
just crazy color.
But it had a purple iridescent that just would blow you away. And I've never to this day seen one like that one. And it was so just beautiful. And it had a little bit of a yellow head. Man, that was one of my favorite snakes.
Yeah.
And it would eat you up. I mean, you pull that thing out. But like I said, it was a baby. It wasn't nothing major. I had when I was 16, I had it's probably about 14, 16 foot Burmese python that lived under my waterbed.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
I'd wake up and it'd be across my body in the middle of the day. Oh yeah, it was the sweetest animal in the world. But it liked to be under the warm waterbed.
Yeah.
It was the perfect location for it. And it was too big. I bought it for $200 at a reptile show. And I'll never forget it. I'd come home and it'd flip all my books off, tear my shelf.
Oh shit, man. I only had that happen once when I was a kid. I had a big, like a 15-foot tiger retic when I was probably 15 or so. And my parents' house didn't have air. We didn't have central air, so we just had window units. So when it was real hot, we just would all sleep down in the living room on the main floor. So my room was filled with animals, and my retic broke through. Me and my dad built a big wooden cage with plexiglass. There was a whole deal. The snake was pushing, broke through the plexiglass. My mom found it climbing on her bed and bookshelf and all this shit, freaking out. Like, it was wild. But it's just shit was totally different back then, like homemade cages and aquariums.
I traded a pot-bellied pig for a 4 to 5 foot caiman. I bet you I was only 13 years old.
Holy shit.
12 to 13. And I had a 4 to 5 foot caiman, a speckled caiman.
Yeah, yep.
And put it this way, back then we didn't know no better. It was in a 55-gallon cage or a 55-gallon tank.
Yeah.
It couldn't turn around. You know what I mean? It had trouble to turn around, but I didn't know nothing. My mom and dad, they're like, Jimmy, I'm out. This ain't nothing to do with me. So in high school, they all called me Gator. That was my nickname. And everybody come to my house to look at all my crazy animals. And I think about it all the time. The caiman's head was, it was a good. If it would have ever bit me, I'd have been in trouble.
Really?
I didn't know, but I'd grab that thing. I was 13 years old, and I guarantee it was 4 foot.
Wow.
3 4 foot. And its head was, 12 to 15 inches deep.
You don't even see them anymore, like the spectacle caiman. I remember going to there was a local show here back when I was a kid, and you could pick up spectacle caimans for like $35. Baby American alligators were like $60. I bought one when I was an alligator when I was like, I was probably 14 or 15, and same thing. Had an aquarium. Bought as itty bitty. I think it was probably 3 foot or so when I got rid of it, 4 foot or so, and just great. Now you don't even see. I rarely see.
Now you're gonna pay some money for a spectacle caiman nowadays. They're up there. They're a little tough. But what was so funny about it is back then we had a such thing as called a bargain market. Have you ever heard of a bargain market?
I've never heard of that.
Well, it was a newspaper that you could buy for like $1. You go to a gas station and get them for like $1. Back then, and it had a pets section in the back. So I was 12 or 13, and this is how I got on my negotiating skills. I would just sit and I would call every ad on there and try to make trade. And I ended up, and this guy, I'll never forget, his name was Tim Texas. And I ended up calling him up, and I had a potbelly pig as a pet. It was my little buddy. And I traded my potbelly pig for this caiman. And they told me how big the caiman was. But I was too young. I didn't understand. I didn't realize it until they brought it to my house. And they put it in they carried it up and put it in the room. And my dad walked in the bedroom, and he's like, "Oh shit! Oh hell no!" Hey, dude, he lost it, man. It was the coolest shit ever. But I'll never forget and every time he walked in the room, he'd open his mouth, and bam, he hit the glass, just crazy. And it was like all my buddies would come over, and they're like, "Oh,
freaking out! Yeah. What the hell is this?"
Yeah, and I was going, that's the stuff I love. I was a big sports guy, but I hated sports. Yeah. I played for my mom and them. All I wanted to do was just go to the creek and catch shit. That's all I could do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So now I'm like a big candy store. When I was doing this, dude, Jake, there wasn't none of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, when I first started, I've been a big fish breeder. I love fish. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, when I first got into this, I started watching all the groups. Yep. And then I think I told you one time how many you've been.
I was gonna say I remember when you came kind of onto this. Like I kind of remember when you started posting pictures and started talking in the groups and stuff. And
dude, I was a kid in a candy store. I had no clue. Yeah. These animals was 30, 40 grand. But, I mean, they were unheard of. Bob Clark was the only one I think had this stuff.
Yeah.
The albino retics and all. Yeah. I mean, you just look at them and dream. And it's funny, but I was reading articles. How I found you. I was reading an article one time, and I think you was a baby. You was young.
Probably.
And dude, they had you labeling snakes before people even knew what they were. It was like, no shit. And then that's when me and you, I think I told you one time.
You were reaching out. I remember.
Somebody wrote a book or an article or something. I was like, who's this Jake? I didn't know he was 7 foot tall.
Almost.
You big old boy.
Almost there. But
dude, but awesome. No, it was good stuff, man, back then. But man, I'm a kid in a candy store. I wish I'd have done this years ago.
Yeah.
But I didn't have no clue. If this blew up since I left, when I left, none of this stuff was available. Nothing. I didn't even know. I'd never even heard of a tiger.
Yeah.
So when I came back, just a lavender normal retic blew me away, and I actually got to own it. And it was like, I think I only paid like $200 when I first started.
So what year did you get back in it then? Like,
I think I've only been at it for about 5 years.
Yeah,
I think I've only been at it for 5 years now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it was too long. And I do remember. I remember talking to you about like IDing snakes and all sorts of stuff. And I remember you telling me, you were showing me pictures of your fish breeding setup, and you're like, I'm gonna get rid of this, and we're doing monitors. I'm getting a bunch of monitors and stuff. And and then you did all that, so it's pretty cool, man. It's I like seeing everybody like transition, come in and start and stick with it and kind of grow and get big. And you're pretty well known, man. Like a lot of people know who you are. I mean, you're in so many different groups though too, which is nice. You know, you got the monitors and the retics and the anacondas and the African rocks, and I mean, I just saw pictures. You had like the Albert's pythons too, and all sorts of shit, right? You got
what are they? I didn't hear you.
I saw a picture. You were holding like a D. Albert's python or some shit. You got
The white lip.
or maybe white lip. Yeah. I mean, you got all sorts of crazy shit.
Man, that's me. I'm majority retics, but we've got about 50 monitors now, and that's something, you know, and that's something I really enjoy because of the challenge, you know.
Yeah.
The snakes, I love the snakes too. I mean, don't get me wrong, the retics, man, just blow me away. You know, the stuff I see out there, the stuff everybody's like, heck, you're what is it, the blonde anthrax?
Yeah.
Man, how'd you hit that? That's a pain.
It's a long project, man. That those double recessives take forever.
And you know, I'm learning a lot of the project side of things, and it is a process, and people don't understand. They don't give the respect to the breeders that actually that fought it out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a long haul. I mean, you know, these monitors that I have 40, 50 of them, whatever they are, but it's taken me years to get them up to the age to really start putting them together now. You know, the investment, dude, that's a lot of money. You know, you put it in, and you get nothing. But now I'm finally getting to the point to where I might be able to start at least being able to pay for them. You know, it's like, gee.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I only have the one monitor now, and it's so much more work than the snakes, but it is so much more. I love my retics, love them to death, but man, the monitors are so rewarding. Working with them and just like feeding them and just seeing them react to stuff, they're just totally different. It's a whole different level of intelligence with them. You know, I'll never have a ton of them. Maybe a pair, and I might get into some of the dwarf stuff. But man, they're awesome.
The trust, I don't know why I love them so much. I think I love them because I live in Kentucky. I can't have alligators or cane. Now I grew up in Indiana, but we're in Kentucky. So to me, the monitor is the next. You know, it's the next thing to alligator or cane. You know.
Yeah.
But the monitors, to earn the trust, that's what people don't get. You know, I mean, you're going to have the baby, and the babies are crazy. But as they get older, man, they turn into something cool. I mean,
puppy dog. They're like puppy dogs.
Yeah, you got to get them to at least that 2-year mark. Sometimes you got to get them a little bit older. But I got them. They'll follow me around. The place. Yeah, it's like. It's pretty cool.
It is neat. Mine's to the point now where before he or she would not even eat in front of you. Now I'm to the point where I can open the glass. He sits right on the thing. He'll eat right off the tongs. Just sits there. Like, it's definitely a process, but man, it's so rewarding. It is so rewarding working with that animal. You know, it's so much fun.
Well, and wait till you start figuring out that when you have someone else in the room, they act stupid. You know what I mean? Yeah. They act. When it's just you and them, they're the best animals in the world. As soon as you pull in someone out like someone different, oh man, it's like they know it. They know it. And they get real shy, they get real silly, and it's like, wow, man, how smart are you? You know, it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
But so the albinos of the stuff that Shane did, man, you got a board. They're being, like you said, finicky. You probably got you a female.
Yeah.
Sounds like you might have.
I'm gonna reach out to. I know that guy Mike Stefani. You know Mike Stefani. He's told me before. Send me pictures. I could probably ID it. So I just haven't gotten around to it. I need to do that, but figure it out, and then maybe try to pick up something else. Try to give my hand a chance at breeding them down the road.
We got well, you'll find like the females. They're always a lot more shy.
Are they?
Just out of the gate. Out of the gate, they act just weird. Like weird. They're always wanting to hide. They're always doing this. They like to eat by themselves. You know, like you said, how you said you might have you one, and that's a good thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what happens. But So I'm going to ask you, what is you got eggs in the incubator right now? I would imagine you got eggs.
Oh, yeah.
What
Ton.
what's your most anticipated pairing right now that you can talk about?
Man, they're across the board. I just hit something really cool. I've got a couple clutches I haven't even posted yet.
Yeah,
we're still getting them eaten and everything. But I've got some something that I'm really finding myself in love with is the fruit baskets. I've got a fruit basket here, and this thing just drives me crazy. Just the prettiest animal you ever see. Just a beautiful retic. But I've got Jag Motley Marble fruit baskets in the incubator right now. And
like they're incubating, or you already hatched them?
No, they're incubating. They're incubating. I got a lot of stuff.
Those are going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean that is something that I didn't realize until I seen one in person. Mm-hmm. And what was that guy's name? Robert, the guy that used to
Robert Uvino.
Yes, just awesome dude, man. He was so smart. I talked to him for a long time. Dude, just a genius, real smart dude.
Yeah,
he was doing, but the pictures do no justice until you see him in person. Yeah. So I mean, to see a Jag, in which I'm a Jag lover, even though Jag has their issues.
Yep.
Jag, Marble, Motley. When you put the Motley and the Jag and stuff together, it seems like it cleans it up a lot. So I'm hoping I can get me that fruit basket Jag Motley Marble. That'll be
pretty cool. You're right though. The fruit basket stuff is insanely cool.
Yeah.
Like none of the pictures do justice to those animals, I don't think.
No, fruit baskets, you don't see a lot of them. And like I said, back, before I got one, adult, I looked at them, I didn't think much of them.
Yeah.
But when I seen it in person, it was like, holy, probably just like the blonde. You know how you are with the blondes. The pictures do them no justice until you see a blonde in person. And that's what people don't realize, because they go off the photos that we see on the internet, and these photos.
It's so hard. It's so hard to photograph these animals. It's you see all these pictures, and it's like you kind of get an idea, but until you see most of them in person, it's totally different. Like you said, the blonde stuff is so hard to photograph at times. It just washes them out so much. They're so dark and rich that when you start taking pictures, they look almost like purples. So when they're not in person, they're dark.
To me, they remind me a little bit of a Mocha or Machino a little bit as far as the pictures go, but in person, completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I brought my blonde tiger a few times to some of the Tinleys, and so many people came up and were like, "Oh, I didn't know you had an Indo caramel tiger. She's that dark." I'm like,
"Yeah."
They look Indo caramel, but they're like, it's got a weird look to it. I'm like, it's a blonde. It's just insanely dark. Put the time in on them and keep them cooler, man. They get black, just black.
Now, how cold do you actually let them go?
All my blonde stuff is in the bottom of my rack, so they're like 84, 85.
That's not too cold. That's not as cold as what I've heard some people let them go to.
No.
I don't let none of my snakes get cold.
84 is about the coldest I've went. I just get because I like to feed. Like if I fed differently, maybe I would try it a little cooler. But everything I feed that I'm keeping, I feed really big meals, right? So I don't like them sitting that cold with them big lumps. And 84, 85 is about the coldest I'll go.
Yeah, I don't even feed big meals no more. I've learned. I've had some issues with the big meals. I actually learned. I feed weekly, but I feed smaller meals.
Yeah,
and that is something I think that's been the biggest help, because it's knocked out a lot of my cleaning. It slowed my cleaning down a lot, and my females seem to just respond so much better. It's different. Yeah. So instead of the big, I'm still a 5-pound pig feeder, but the 15 pounds and the 12 pounds I used to, I don't do that anymore.
Man,
it's just too much.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's the thing I love. Like you do it that way and it works. I do it how I do it. It works. Everybody has their thing that works for them. That's why I tell people when they ask me, "Hey, what should I do with this or that?" It's like, this is what works for me. You're gonna have to kind of do your own thing and figure it out. I'll tell you what I do. Take what I'm telling you, and you can apply it. Take what other people tell you, and just kind of figure out what works best for you. You
Well, see,
know,
that's the best way. That's the best way with all of it. I'm the same. I'm the same way. I like to just when people tell me how they do it, I listen to what they do, and then I tell them, man, whatever works best, whatever works.
absolutely.
It's just how it is because we all do it different. Every
Absolutely.
one of us do it different, and then we talk to customers and this and that, and sometimes the customers don't understand it, and then you tell them everybody does it different. But as long as it works, it works. Yeah, just
Well,
like
that's the thing. It's I don't know. And I've tried it different. Like I've tried smaller meals and stuff more often, and it didn't work for me. I didn't like it like as much as I like feeding the bigger meals.
Now
again,
you feeding the big meals? Are you feeding the big meals once a month, or you just feeding them?
So I don't even keep a schedule, to be honest. Like I don't have that many. I mean, I have a lot of animals, but I bet I don't have what you have. So I can kind of watch my stuff, so I can kind of tell, okay, this female's starting to cruise and looking for food.
Yeah.
It could be 3 weeks. It might be a month and a half or so, depending. Like my blonde tiger, she'll put down 25, 30 pounds of pigs of feeding, and then she's good for a month and a half. And then obviously, like now when it comes up to breeding, so like I may drop her down and feed her like, 2 7-pound pigs or something like that. But I'll feed her then more often instead of the bigger meals. But when I'm trying to get in the cycle, but if I'm just like throughout the year cruising, they just get a big ass meal every few weeks or months for the big snakes and just kind of hold them over, until breeding season. Then I start slamming them. Then I kind of adjust my feeding. But yeah, it's just I don't know. The shit sucks. Cleaning definitely sucks a lot more. Feeding the bigger meals, but I like not having to clean so much in between meals. Right, I could go 2 weeks or 3 weeks without really doing a big clean on them. So, that's part of the reason why I like doing it that way. But yeah, I mean it's I don't know.
Everybody, like I said, everybody does it different. And I used to do it like you. I used to hammer them, just give them the monsters. And I don't know. I was cleaning a lot. And it seemed like a lot of their stools wasn't coming out like they should.
Really?
Softer, this and that. So with dogs and all the breeding that I've done, when they start having issues and they start doing this and that, you can already tell that something's got their stomach upset.
Something's going on.
Yep, something's got their stomach upset. So that's why I pulled it back a little bit, and it's been working for me. So I like it, and it's like I said, it takes a lot of the cleaning out of it.
Is that just because it's less poo and pee? Because you said it's less cleaning. So is it just because it's not as much, or what?
No, it's less. I mean, we clean. I got 4 people here that's working every week. We're working all the time. Yeah, we're cleaning. We're keeping them clean. But when you're dealing with it, is like when you're feeding the big pigs, it comes out, almost like diarrhea sometimes, or at least it did here. You know what I mean? Now that I've slowed it down a little bit, now I feed regular. I feed weekly,
right?
Which is more work because it takes me almost a day to day and a half to feed everybody. Not counting deliveries. No joke, it's a full solid pig.
That's wild.
But when it comes out the back end, it's perfect. You know what I mean? It's hard, it's rock.
Yeah.
It's like it should be. And like when you watch when you do, I've bred dogs for 20 plus years. It's crazy. It's kind of gross to think about this, but that is something that you have to watch is the stool.
Yeah.
If you're not watching that, it can mean a lot of things. It's pretty crazy. And when you overfeed a puppy or when you overfeed a dog, they get like that. Right. So you have to you have to just slow it down a little bit, and feed better stuff. Which, like I said, we feed everything: rabbits, pigs, birds. Man, I'm thinking about getting into quail. I'm about to start.
Jeez, man.
Dude, quails are easy. I just found that out, man. Quails is where it's at.
Some money selling quail, I would imagine.
But you know what it is? What people don't realize is you can actually raise quail and it looks like a rat stack.
Really?
And they build these bottoms where they're kind of leaning down a little bit, in the fronts and
so
like a
the shit pisses and stuff or whatever. Or is that for the feces? And stuff?
But that falls out. But when they lay the egg, it all rolls to the front. And these birds will lay an egg a day. And it's
damn.
Yeah, and they're selling them for crazy money. I mean, it's
That's
like
nuts.
It's not about the money. It's about how good they are for your animal.
Right.
You know, I'd be feeding all of them, so it wouldn't be no money thing for me. But man, I've been watching them, and these guys are putting like 10 birds to 10 females to 2 males, and these are making 1,000 eggs a month.
Holy cow!
And they hatch in 18 days, and they're full grown within 60 days.
Wow, I didn't realize the process was that short for them. Really, that's crazy.
Yeah, because they charge so much for them. It's like, man, how do you charge that much when it's, you know, they fly? It's like, wow.
That's impressive.
Well, and you know, the monitors, the quail and the monitors go hand in hand.
Yeah,
it is. It's a love. A lot of these monitors, you know, people don't realize. Which I know this is Retic, but I get caught up in everything. But as far as the monitors, they like the birds. They like the birds.
Well, I was feeding mine, so like I was feeding mine wrap ups and just random, you know, shit. And I just picked up like 200 baby pheasants. Dude, lizard loves that thing. Will go crazy for those pheasants. Flies down the perch, just runs over, grab like crazy. It's like crack for that thing.
I've never seen nobody sell pheasants like that. But
there's a guy here locally that I guess had them. I didn't know that until I went to that monitor fest that guy Brian was putting on, and like the guy I didn't know who he was until I met him. And I'm like, holy shit, he owns a pet store like 10 minutes from my house. And he's like, yeah, I can get him whenever you want. So I was like,
wow.
Holy shit. So yeah,
I've never seen nobody do that. Now, how expensive were they? High?
They weren't that bad. I think I was paying 50 cents or so a bird.
No, for a baby?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty good price. So I bought them.
Yeah, I'd love to find that one. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it was neat to see how much he changed from the rats to the pheasant. Was like a light switch, totally different. So pretty neat.
Well, like I said, it's a thing. Like we feed a little bit of everything, but I like the mixture. I mean, we feed chickens, we feed rabbits. These retics I have, man, they eat everything.
Yeah,
and you know, I love it because I think it's more of a nutrition. It's a balance. It makes them tougher, makes them stronger. Yeah. They get all the nutrients. It's a whole other ballgame. That's why, you know, you heard a lot of people this year having, you know, tough times, you know, because the seasons were weird. You know, a lot of people's having bad clutches, this and that, and you know, we have done pretty good through here. You know, and maybe it's luck, maybe it's, you know, just being blessed or whatever. But it's I think it has a lot to do with nutrients, and a lot of people don't realize, man, if you want to have babies, you got to keep your animals happy. That's all it is. You keep them happy, they're going to go. It's a funny deal. So I mean, not saying that people that's having bad luck that don't keep their animals happy, but something could be wrong. Something could be off a little bit. You know,
there's some element that's not on for them to go. You know, there's some. Fucking internet's acting weird. Oh.
Is that you or me?
I don't get kicked off this thing. I think that's me, probably. My thing's beeping at me. I don't have my, it's not plugged in right now. I'm just doing my Wi-Fi's been good, so I may have to run and plug it in quick if it's going off. But
you ain't got no cricket. You ain't no cricket, are you?
Huh?
You ain't on no cricket.
No. Shit ass.
I know.
Fuck.
Man.
Oh shit. No.
Oh hell.
So I know you kind of said. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you actually good. Your video's flicking a little bit, but other than that, I hear you great.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go run. I'm gonna ask you like a question, and then you can kind of talk. It's only gonna take me like 10 seconds to go plug this thing in quick. But I know we kind of talked about it. Was your favorite? You said your favorite morph was Jaguar. One of your favorite morphs is that your favorite, or what's your favorite morph and why?
Oh man, that's a hard question for me because I really love them all. My favorite, and it's probably the Osprey.
You do.
I love.
You do that. I'm gonna go plug this thing in real fast. So yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go plug it in. You talk about your favorite morph, and I'll be right back.
All right, bring me a beer back.
All right, I'll bring you one. I got you. Don't worry. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Now, man, I love them all, really. I don't know. Are we getting echo? But anyways, I love them all. My favorites. I'm an anthrax guy. I love anthrax. I love probably. I'm pretty excited about ocelot stuff that I have coming up. But man, what the Jag does wonders to everything. I mean, the way it pulls it up on the back and you put the motley to it, the marble, it's just, to me, it's just a pattern out of this world. You throw some Phantom to it, which we got Phantom, Fire, Motley, Jag, albinos here, which is pretty insane, especially when you see them. I mean, we're just now getting to the first sheds. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. A lot of animals. I mean, when it's the GC stuff, GC's cool, but I'd probably say my favorite morph would be probably the ocelot stuff. I love the ocelot. I'm actually getting excited for the ocelot stuff.
Ocelot's your favorite?
Man, I've got it coming up. I ain't got no breeding or nothing yet, but next year I should be able to have me some caramel ocelots. And what Aubrey's got over there, man, Aubrey, I think that snake takes the cake, in my opinion.
It's wild looking. It's such a cool snake.
Yeah,
such a cool snake.
It is. I mean, I got to see it in Tinley, and man, that's a pretty wicked animal. Which he's got some pretty good, he's got some pretty slick animals over there, and it's pretty clean. And I've got babies. I've got caramel het ocelots.
Oh yeah.
That I'm pretty excited about. So we're about a year away, I'd say. Hopefully, if the females,
that's awesome.
What we hope, our females can.
Yeah.
But
I love mine. That snake, I love mine. It's awesome. I don't even care if she proves out het caramel or not, but it's opening that tub every day and seeing that snake. It's definitely one of the coolest. It's definitely one of the coolest retics out there by far.
Yeah, I seen you snag that one up, man. That's pretty badass. And you're doing pretty good with the ultra, or no, it's the heck, you got a whole bunch of
hypo.
Yeah, not the rainbow. You got a bunch of the what are they? Or a couple. You got a pair of the. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank here. It's another new morph. The hypo.
Yeah, the hypo. Yeah, I got a male platy, the male platy tiger hypo, and then I got a female ultra that's het. And I actually got a buddy of mine let me his. He's got a big female. She's not big. She's like 12 foot, 10, 12 foot. It's a platinum phantom tiger het hypo. So I want to say she's like 3 years old or almost 4 years old. She's out of Michael Powell's clutch. So she's definitely a het. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, well, it would have to be because I think he used an ultra. I think he used an ultra for that breeding. So, and I think Keith use a male from that breeding that proved out as a het. So yeah,
Keith's got that. Keith's got. Matter of fact, I think he has a phantom hypo.
Yeah,
I think he has, and it's a breeder male. It's a breeder male. So, and we might have possibly already used it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. I remember when he made the platy phantom hypo is crazy. So so my male is already producing sperm plugs. He's ready to go. I just I got a couple. Well, I'm gonna put him to an anthrax as soon as possible. Anthrax tiger or platinum anthrax tiger. Not sure which way to go yet. But I want to put him to her, and then probably put him to my cow, my GC cow.
That's a big. That sounds like long projects, but I know how you like to go. That's the way to go. That's
the way it should be. I mean, I think that's really where the retic market has to go. I mean, we have to do these double, triple recessives. It's
hard work.
We're really out of the codom stuff. There's really nothing else, out there that I think there's one of those jigsaws left in the country. And I mean, if that thing ever breeds, maybe that, but other than that, there's nothing else. So we've got to do those recessives. I mean, I know there's guys doing, hypo ocelot's going to be wild. I think that's going to be a game changer. That's going to be an insane combo.
with the hypo stuff, hypo to me is almost like a really, I guess more of a cool type platinum. You know, it's a darker tint like a platinum.
So I actually don't like the tiger in it. Like I like mine a lot. I kind of like the non-tiger version. So the platinum hypo I think is way cooler. But I like the fact of having the tiger to make, you know, super tiger stuff. Let's say.
My favorite hypo is just hypo.
Yeah,
just a normal hypo is a wicked animal.
The blues are just. I mean, I'm sure you've seen them in person. The blues on those snakes are just like when my male fires up. The blue on him is unlike anything I've ever seen. You know, so that's why I want to put him in a darker, like into a darker animal. I think with a lot more black, like hypo GC. Might be really cool. Hypo GC could be a really pretty snake. That's what I like. That Sal made him in the heads purple, you know, double head purple hypos. I think purple hypo is going to be pretty cool too.
Hypo, like I said, I love all the new stuff because man, you can just go, you can do whatever you want with it. I mean, it's just such an untouched genetic, you know, gene that you can just fire away.
Yep, that's what we need. The hobby in general, you know, all those. I can't wait till we start seeing the quad recessives. You know, start seeing all that. 4 recessives in one snake is going to be pretty crazy. I don't think anyone's done that yet. So your favorite morph is ocelot. Do you have a favorite locality?
Do
you do a lot with locality?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you even? I don't even know if you have a lot of locality stuff. Do you?
No, I'm more mainland stuff. I like main. I like all of it myself. I don't really get into other than I like Valley. I like Valley a lot, but those are kind of tough to find. You know what I mean? I had a female here. She was supposed to be 100% Valley, and she ended up proving out half albino. And I bred her to a caramel. And they were the pretty. No, it was told me she was a Valley. She was the prettiest Valley in the world, but I knew something was off because she was too pretty. You know what I mean? She was just white, had a beautiful gold head. I mean, just gorgeous animal. And so I bred her to an orange glow because I was trying to, because she actually had like a bluish color to her.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hit that orange glow to try to get them old machinos. I don't remember. Do you remember them machinos where they almost looked blue? They were they're like the they called them like the. Oh no, that wasn't. Were those the ones that Glades Herp made? Or I don't know if those are the same ones. No, I don't know. I'm not sure which ones you're talking about. There was a guy, and we used to see him a lot. And he had the prettiest little machinos ever, and they had like a bluish tint to them. Could have been picture fun, and could have been, there's no telling how he did it. But they were some of the bluish, just gorgeous machino. And I think he won like $2 or $3 grand for a piece. What was that guy's name? He's not around no more. I don't see him ever. But he was a big banger back. He was a big banger breeder back, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And you don't see him no more. Seemed like he was a super nice guy, but dude, he was hitting home runs. I mean, he was $3 grand.
You saw him at the show too, or this was just online?
Just online, but he had the I don't know. But anyways, the Valley that I had that bluish tint to it.
Travis is saying it's Michael Durr.
Michael, yeah, that might be. That sounds right. I think it is right. He's been gone for about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, he's been out for a while.
Yep, he had some of the prettiest machinos I ever seen, but it could have been photo, it could have been something different. Everybody's got their own little creative ways to look special, but there was something about his that were different, in my opinion. And but anyways, the Valley I had that blue sheen to it. And I put an orange glow to it, and shit, it proved out head albino. So prettiest orange glows I ever made. But we sold them out.
Wasn't what you were shooting. It wasn't what you were shooting for, though. But that's right, though.
I was going for Valley 100% het orange glow, and I was going to go into the orange glow and try to really pull it together. You know what I mean? But they come out and they were gorgeous, man. They had the yellow heads, and I think the Valley is kind of limited. and I think the Bally did something to the morphs that people don't realize. And I think the fire, my buddy Winston Fire.
Yeah, Weston.
Yeah, dude, he has a purple that come from Paul, I think. That's the prettiest purple you ever seen. If you see the yellow head on that thing,
yeah,
I would bet money that's probably got some Bally in it.
It might.
That put that yellow head on that animal is just insane.
He's got a big Bali too, though.
Yeah,
Weston, he's got that big Bali. That's an awesome snake.
Yeah, he's got a gorgeous Bally. But as far as the localities and stuff like that, I love them all. But I like the colors. I like the morphs. That's just what I'm into. I mean, how you can make the different paint jobs on them. I like the stuff that Garrett's doing a little bit. As far as the Calto and all that, the super door stuff. Yep. It's got a really wicked pattern on it that's pretty clean, especially when you have the anery in there, and the anery just seems to play a role. But and then Daniel Solis, is it Solis?
Solis, yeah.
Dude, he's a beast too. I love that guy. That guy does some pretty cool stuff.
I like seeing all the combos, the morphs mixing with the different localities. I mean, there's not a lot of the mainland stuff. I mean, like that's why I love my Sula Tiger stuff I made was awesome, super cool. I'd like to see, and like I know Rodney and some other guys are doing those turnates, like the turnate tigers and all the different combos, into the different islands, and that stuff really changed. I mean, look at the stuff Eric Lee is making, like all that 68.75% platinum Phantom Sun Tiger head anery. That shit's just.
No, Eric's got some. He's out there, man. He's out there. He's got some pretty wicked, especially in the Superdorf world. He's really got some pretty wicked animals that he's working with. Yeah, and he deserved it. He earned it. You know what I mean? He went after it and he stuck with it. I enjoy it. I like watching that stuff too.
Absolutely. I just like seeing the stuff they're doing. Like I love that they're outcrossing this stuff, right? And they're making these different combos and there's all these different morphs. That's what I want. I really want to do that more with my Sula stuff. I want to just outcross it and make all these higher percentage Sula cross animals. And
then I like Sula too.
Sula's so fucking hard to breed, though, man. That Sula shit sucks trying to breed.
Why is it so tough?
I don't know, man. I have no clue. I mean,
is it the females or the males?
I think it's the females.
He has a lot of Sula stuff too,
Seems like it's the female. I mean, my first year breeding retics, I had a clutch of Sulas that all made. I cut them too early. It was my first year breeding. I didn't know what I was doing. My Jamp clutch that hatched a few weeks before all pipped on like 78, so I thought they were ready on 78, and I cut them all, killed them. And then, I've never been able to make pure since. My one female was gravid, and she got egg bound and died. So that sucked. And I don't know. They're definitely difficult for sure. So.
Wonder why. They say the same thing with ghosts. They say the ghost is pretty tricky too.
Yeah,
they'll climb out of the egg and die. I've got some ghost. I got ghost GC, GS in the incubator right now.
That'll be cool.
And I'm pretty nervous about them because I've heard nothing but horror stories about them. And it's like, we'll find them.
I think I heard that those were the ghost stuff too, or maybe it is just the genetics. But I thought that they were like hard to get feeding too, the ghost stuff out of the egg. But maybe not. It could just be the genetic. I know the genetics type stuff is.
I've heard that too. But with me, I'll go 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. If they start looking a little thin, I just start force feed.
Yeah.
Some people say, Jimmy, I don't never force feed. Some people say they do. Man, I think I've saved 60 to 70% of my animals by getting them going.
Wow.
And we do small meals, just small little pinkies, but I keep them going. And then usually they just start rocking. I might lose a few of them, but most of them will take off. And it's something that I've done, and it seems to be working. It seems to help a lot.
Absolutely.
So I mean, if I had ghosts and say they didn't eat, that's just how it would go until they started on their own. It's tricky stuff, but it's actually a pain in the ass. I mean, but just gotta do it.
Travis is saying, and Travis, he's big in the ghost. He's saying, the ghost stuff, they like run out of the eggs. So Makes sense. I mean, he knows he's hatched a bunch out, so
Yeah, he's got some beautiful, gorgeous ghosts.
it's crazy how just certain genes, certain morphs have these different traits. You know, like ghost runs out of the eggs, genetic stripe stuff sucks to get feeding. They're just it's weird. It's just weird how that.
Pads sometimes are a little weird on getting feed.
Are they?
They're a little tough. They're a little tricky getting them eaten sometimes. And you know, like you said, the marble. You know, when you cut them and the green stuff
Green
comes
fluid, yeah.
Dude, that would kill most of our snakes, but the marbles can live through it. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. That stuff happened to one of my Sula cross animals breedings I did had all the green fluid. Like one baby made it. That was it. But
yeah, most of the time. Yeah, if you cut a clutch of eggs and you see green, it's like, But if it's marble, it's fine. I got super motley marbles down there, and albinos. And the only reason I know that they're 100%, well, I don't know for sure, but the only reason I think that they are marbles is because of the green.
Yeah, they're candle green. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, green as can be.
So weird. So weird.
It's pretty wild.
I remember when I got my marble tiger, it was still kind of like that was the sale. Everyone was like, "Oh, that's the big talk." The marbles have. And a lot of people were split. Some people didn't believe it. And I remember Eric Alvarado. I don't know if he was around when you were around.
Yeah.
I remember he was
California.
Yeah, he was in California. I remember me and him talking. He's like, "Watch." He goes, "I'm marking every egg that I candle green, and I bet you everyone is a marble." And sure enough, everyone was fucking marble. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he did that, I was a believer. I'm like, I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no way that they're gonna candle green and they're gonna all be marble. And sure enough, they were. It did it. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was the wild.
The last couple of years, I've done a lot of marble, and they always come out green, and they live. They do good.
Yeah.
You know, they seem to be a little more aggressive. You know. Because of the marble anthrax and the stuff like I'm working with, you know, I don't know what's doing it. I don't know if it's the marble side, maybe the generation as far as the genes or the generation is close. But yeah, they come out a little bit more frustrated, I guess you could say. But
sometimes that's better though. They usually eat really good then. At least all the ones I've noticed, all my pies were assholes when they came out, and they all ate fantastic.
It's like my rock pythons. You want to hear something crazy? Rock pythons, man, I'll cut the eggs open. You know what I mean? I reach in, check the field. They'll bite you in the egg.
That's wild.
They come out banging. They're ready to eat.
What do they? How long does it take for them to hatch? What's their incubation?
Usually anywhere from 67 to 72 days here, but I keep mine about 86 on my incubation. As far as my temperatures, 86 to 87. So it takes me a little bit longer to pull them through. But usually our retics are hatching about, I'd say around 87, 88 days. You know, I don't cut until I got about 4 or 5 heads coming through.
Yeah.
And then we'll start cutting. And as soon as I cut, I'll actually open their egg sac too.
Right.
Get them getting it air. You know what I mean? A lot of people cut them and leave them in the sack and they'll still drown. So I've done it every which way you possibly can. And the way that I do it now, it seems to be working, seems to be doing pretty good. I have less, you know, as far as issues, as far as drowning and all that stuff, which I like to watch and make sure they're not getting tangled up in the umbilical cord and all that. But it's a trick, man. I got 4 or 5 anacondas bred right now.
Jesus.
Yeah. Now
all greens or greens and yellows?
Just greens right now. I might have one of my yellows bred. Don't know just yet. But yeah, I got 2 100% sure that's gravid.
Wow.
And then I think I have 2 more that's coming. That's bred. They're there. They just ain't started showing yet. I got one that's over 200 plus pounds.
Jeez.
She could have. There's no telling how many she can have.
Wow, that's a big animal.
I had a boa constrictor lay almost 50-something eggs this past month.
Babies. Holy shit.
I never knew they could even have that many. I ain't never hit like that. It seemed like I kept pulling handfuls out of the cage. It was like, this is weird. This is weird. You know, because everybody thinks, you know, retics can have all them eggs and them babies, but these little boas and stuff can do it.
That's a huge litter, man. 57, that's giant. That's a lot of babies.
Oh man, I don't know. I didn't say 50 I said I think around 50, but 50, but
Or 50.
it's kept pulling them out. Kept pulling them out.
Wow.
And it's just your regular BCI boas. You know, they're just had albinos, but it was a big old female, and I put an albino in there, and she laid them out there.
Jeez. You may end up with 100. You might have 100 baby greens out of that big female.
No, I don't know what's the biggest litter have you ever heard of a green?
I don't know. I know. I don't know. The biggest I've ever seen was recently that I saw that Brian over there he got, what did he get? 50? 51 out of a litter?
I would say this girl that I have, she's every bit of 16 foot over 200 pounds.
That's a giant anaconda.
Oh, you know what? People don't realize the work that it takes on the anacondas. To pull her out it's a job, just because she is so heavy. And they're so strong, the difference between the retics will help you. Anacondas don't help. They're dead weight. But
Todd's saying that Brian had 40, so I thought he had 50, but 40. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a lot. And then Travis is saying that they don't have as many as they look like because the babies are big, which the babies are giant when they come out. So who knows? But that's a pretty big anaconda though, man. 200 plus pounds.
This is the biggest. She's probably one of my biggest snakes as far as heavy.
Wow.
Yeah. I got retics. We've got retics 16 to 18 foot here, but they ain't got the mass that this animal has. I mean, this girl here, I'm a full sweat when I pull her out. It's like, wow.
That's
and if she wants to go right, she'll take me right. She's a sweetheart, but if she goes this way, I'm going with her.
Yeah. I mean, a big retic is impressive, but a big anaconda is super impressive. Yeah. Just that girth and just the massiveness. But
it's unreal, man. Like I said, and when you get to handle them, that's when your respect really goes up. Just the strength of it. Which I've handled some big retics too, and their strength ain't nothing to, they'll take you right or left too. Retics are insane too. So I don't know out of the two, who's the big baddest or whatever, but they're both amazing animals. Amazing.
So this guy Pierce is asking if you still breed African rocks. Didn't you just have all the clutch?
I just had a clutch. I got a clutch down there right now. Yeah. Love them.
Yeah.
I got paddless greens on the way.
Really?
I'm pretty excited about them. I got 3 adult females now, and then I've got normals that pos at paddless now.
That's the only big snake I've never owned. I've owned anacondas, berms, retics, scrubs. I've never owned an African rock ever.
Well, when you have them, the only thing and I'll tell everybody this, and I think they're the smartest snakes of all, in my opinion. The rocks, well, you know how retics will come flying out of the cage, and the food aggression and all that. Mm-hmm. The rocks don't do that. The rocks will come out, and I mean, they would just basically grab the animal and they'll eat it. You know what I mean? Yeah. The food response makes the retics almost crazy. You know what I mean? Unless you know what they're doing, it's a food response. Turn it off, and then they're the best snakes ever. Rocks don't have all that craziness. You know what I mean? They're still crazy. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But dude, when I walk down in the basement, my rocks will come out and they're watching me. And they just seeing what I'm doing. They know when I got the rats out. They know when I'm about to feed. You just
see. Are they friendly? Are they your bigger ones? Are they friendly or not?
I've got a pair here that are adults, and they're probably about 12 foot. The females, and I got 2 of them that are the sweetest snakes you ever seen. And then I got one that's Satan. The one Satan will jump out of the cage and bite you. She can actually jump.
Wow. So even the nice ones, they're very talkative, right? They're very vocal. They hiss a lot, or no, not really.
Not the 2. Now I don't know about everybody, but the 2 that I have, sweethearts. They're sweethearts. They don't hiss at all. My Burmese hiss more than they do.
Really? Because I've read and I've heard stories, and it's like they're just a very talkative, they hiss a lot, and they're very they body check kind of, and they're just more of a like they bluff a lot, kind of. But maybe if they're that friendly, then probably not.
Well, I'm going, like I said, I've got, let's see, probably 6 of them, and out of the 6, I only got 2 that are friendly. The other ones are like, oh crap, be ready.
Wow.
Because like I said, they're different. I got one that's a wild caught, and she just laid the eggs, and man, the mom on these, you gotta be on your A game. I can pull her out, I can handle her and deal with her. Now I'm cool with it, but I don't let nobody here touch her. You know, because she will fly out of that cage. And
jeez, man,
it's impressive.
Crazy.
It's impressive. She's not the biggest girl. She's probably about 10 to, I don't know, maybe 11 foot, something like that. She's not a real big animal. Hell, I had a 200-pound rock python. Just passed away this winter.
God, man, that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge,
man. She was probably about 12 or 13 foot. I got her from a veterinarian, and dude, this veterinarian had this animal so fat. So I held her off food for a year to try to get her weight down, and it worked a little bit. She still kept the weight packed in, and she was every bit of it, probably 150, 200 pounds. Let's just say that to be, you know. But her neck was that around, and she didn't have no neck. I mean, it was just so fat. You know, they had her so fat. So I held her off food for a year, and I fed her a rabbit. And dude, what's funny is, matter of fact, prehistoric pet Jay told me. Jay wanted this animal. He was trying to buy this animal from me, and I told him, I was like, man, I've held her off food. Let me get her situated or whatever, because he likes to have the big old monster animals. Yep. And I was like, man, I don't think she's gonna breed. She's probably a 20-year-old snake for all I know. How the hell did you get a rock python this big? You know what I mean? She had to have a lot of age on her, but she was the prettiest animal ever, and she was a sweetheart. Talking about puppy dog thing. The veterinarian that had her must have fed her every day and pet her. You know what I mean? He took her for walks and took her on the neighborhood. Biggest ride. And I ain't seen pictures, but anyways, Jay really wanted her, and I was dealing with Jay. I was telling Jay, I was like, man, I want a breeder, but I don't know. I don't think I'm probably better off just to send her to you. Let the world fall in love with her. You know? And I said, but let me make sure she eats, because I haven't fed her in a year. I was trying to pull the weight off. And he said, man, all right, that sounds good. And another guy told me, he said, man, once you feed her, you probably going to end up losing. And I didn't believe it, because she was such a perfect thing. And I fed her a small rabbit. And then, I don't know, a week or two later, I fed her another one. And then she wouldn't eat again. And she died. And it's like, damn. Oh. And which I didn't sell her or give her to nobody until I knew that she was going to be fine. But I don't know what happened. I'm not really sure how that did happen.
Yeah.
But sure enough, as soon as she ate,
damn, man, that's a heartbreaker. Man, she was actually probably my. I mean, you look at the monitors and all the crazy stuff I had her. She was one of the most impressive animals I had. Yeah. And it was like, man, but she wasn't really getting a good look here. So I was going to just send her to Jay and because Jay can get her out there where she could have been seen. But people would
she was the biggest rock I ever seen.
They're such pretty snakes. They're such pretty looking animals too.
Yeah.
Huh.
But
let me ask you this. So you've been in the Retic community right now for, you said, about 5 years. So what is I think I know what you're going to say, but what is your favorite thing about the Retic community?
Man, my favorite thing is how tight we all are. And I know there's a few on the wild side, a few that like the drama and stuff like that, but knock the ones that seek the drama. Say you knock them out of the park. Well, guess what? We all love each other. We all try to help each other. We're all ready to do whatever. I actually love that part about the Retic. You know what I mean? The drama side of things, I try to stay out of. I ain't got really, tell you the truth, I have no time for it. Because, when come 6 o'clock, I'm on a practice football field at 7. And I get home about 10 or 11. And then I'm cleaning snakes till, I don't know, 2 or 3 or feeding or whatever. And then usually, and I just now finally got done with softball. So by the time I got done feeding or cleaning 2 or 3 softball practices was around 6 or 7 or games. So it was a nonstop. So I really don't have a lot of time watching all the drama. And I don't really get into it, because it's all negative stuff. I like the positive stuff. And really with the retic world, and there's a lot of positive guys, especially in the group. Like, when we go out to eat, when we hit these shows, we're all together. Man, we'll sit at them tables. We all sit around. We're laughing. We're cutting up. We're having a blast.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. So much fun.
Oh, man, that's the best thing about and you know what? That's something that drives that I love. You know what I mean? The knit that we have. And it's really not a clique. We all do our own thing, but when we come together, man, we're all about laughs and fun, figuring it, out, and we have a ball.
That's what I see people. I see people post about this group and that group and this clique and that clique, but it's not. I don't feel like there is. Like you said, everybody does their own things, but then when we're all together, we all go out, we all party, we eat, we drink, we have a good fucking time. I don't understand that. I don't know how that image comes across, but I mean,
it's really, I guess. With the retic world, it's really no clique at all. You know what I mean? No. People think it is, but I can go out and I can eat dinner with any retic breeder out there. Other than a few, because I probably couldn't handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might get sideways. But other than that, 95% of the retic breeders that I know that go to these shows and the ones that are really doing it, man, I can have a blast with all day long, and we can talk and have fun. And hell, if you need some, here, come get it. And it's vice versa. It works like that, and that's the best thing about the retic world. In my opinion.
I had a feeling that's what you're going to. Well, you're one of the most lively dudes in that group. So, I mean, as I said, going out drinking with you is always a good time, man. We always have a blast. It's fun. So.
Yeah, I get the beer in me, man. It gets in my veins. I can have some fun.
Dude, some of the best times we're drinking with you, man. I've never laughed so hard. Sometimes, man, it's fucking hilarious. So with the work, what's that's what you like. What do you like the least in the retic community? Probably the drama, I would imagine.
Man,
there's a lot too.
Well, what I hate the most, and what people don't realize, and they kind of fail. They're actually hurting themselves. You know what I mean? It's the haters. The haters that'll rip other people apart. And I don't say no names because I don't even want to give them the attention. You know what I mean? Yep. But they will rip other breeders trying to get attention, and really it kills them. Yeah. And they could be doing a great job at what they're doing, but they do so much bad. It's like you can't even look through the silly stuff.
Yeah.
To even enjoy what they're doing. And it's like, man, you got so much hate on these people. It's like, dude, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? With me, I work as hard as I can, and I don't really get into, a lot of the stuff. I actually like to show what I'm doing. Instead of talking, you don't just talk. Just show it. Sometimes if you just show it, people will see it. But for a breeder or someone to hate on another breeder, guess what? All that negative attention is turning everybody's head towards the breeder that you're hating on. And then guess who's going to win? The one you're hating on.
Yep.
So in business, first rule, man, you never talk about your competition. You never do. And that's something that I've always lived by. I go, and if I do talk about competition, guess what? Man, they're awesome. That dude's awesome. He's got that. He's doing this. He's amazing. Yeah. Go try him out. Go try. And dude, we've done this between me and you.
Yeah,
I've seen customers for you. And you turn around and send them back to me.
Likewise,
It's how it should be. If I don't have something, I at least want one of my friends to win. You know what I mean? Or one of my people. And it's like, man, Jake's got it, or Sal and Nick's got it, or whatever. That's how I think it works. And 95% of us do it the way it should be. Amanda, Gavin, and all them. Gavin and them. Amanda sells all kinds of stuff for them.
Yeah.
She'll come in there, and if I don't have something, whatever, man, Gavin and them, they're the best. They're awesome. Everybody's the best with me. That's the way I look at it. And I don't get into the negative stuff because, like I say, it's a waste of time. If you got that much negativity about yourself, it means you're not taking care of your animals. because I ain't got that time. You know, when I'm working, they all better be cleaning. I ain't got time to bitch with other people.
Right.
I got shit to do. You know what I mean? So, and every year, and you see this all the time, every year about the summertime when things slow down a little bit, everybody starts doing this. They're bitching at each other. And guess what? While they're bitching at each other, guess what I'm doing? I'm working and I'm selling.
You're banging out snakes, man. Banging out snakes, banging out monitors. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what people don't realize. When you're talking, I'm working. When you're sleeping, I'm working. You know, that's how I like to be. And that's how you should be. When you have animals, man, the animals come first. You ain't got time to bitch about who's doing this or what's that or this or that. It kills me. It drives me crazy. It just makes me nuts. That's what I hate the most though.
It drives, you know, and I'm feeling exactly the same way, especially when there's people that are so knowledgeable. They know a ton of shit. They could be huge assets to the community.
Smart.
But they just want to run their mouth and talk shit and have hard-ons for certain individuals. You know, I don't understand it, but it's the way it is, unfortunately.
It drives me. That's what kills me, especially when you have a very educated person doing it, and it's like, man, what the hell, dude? You got so much to give. You got so much.
You could help out so many people, but
but you want to bitch at them, and you want to hear. And a lot of people ain't gonna take that negative.
No.
You know, someone's ripping your ass. Guess what? Hell with them. Hell with them. I ain't gonna listen to them. You know what I mean? But if you come at me in the right direction, you say, hey, man, you should look at this or do that. You know, there's just ways of communication that a lot of people don't understand. They don't get, and it messes with them. It hurts them. In the long run, it hurts the dickhead, I guess you could say. And that's the only thing, like, really. But really, as far as, you know, and I'm in all the communities, like you said, I like all of it. My Retic brothers are probably my favorite. That's where I'm the tightest with my Retic brothers.
Hell yeah.
That's how it is, man. You awesome. Just really don't get no better than that. But
yeah.
So, like I said, we got a few little bad apples, but
every group does. Every group does. It's no matter what hobby you're in, it's all the same. So did you? Who would you say is? I don't know if you have it or not, but who would you say is like your biggest mentor in the Retic world? Like, who helped you out the most? Who's kind of giving you the best advice? You know, stuff like that. Who's kind of helped guide you?
Man, I've actually got a few. You know, I ain't got just one or two. I got tight. I mean, I'm really tight with a few of them. I mean, heck, Jake, when I first started having these horses and didn't have a clue what the hell I was looking at, who was I texting? I was messaging you.
You were texting me a lot.
Jake, what the hell's this?
Yeah.
You say, I could tell I was irritating you sometimes. You're like, man, that's what it is. That's what it is. And I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, and I'd message Travis too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't message you, and I was messaging Travis. Travis, all right, man, what the hell's this?
Yeah, but that's the way it should be, though.
Yeah. And it took me a long because I didn't want to put nobody out. You know, I still have issues sometimes looking at these boys. Trying to figure it out.
It's hard.
Oh man, especially with the crazy combos, you know. Yeah. But my all-time favorite, probably, I'd say, me and Keith Stanbar are pretty much brothers.
Yeah.
Me and Nick and Sal are brothers. I mean, we're really tough. And Noah's my son. You know, Noah's my son.
Yeah. Where's he at? I haven't seen him, man. Has he been busy or what the fuck's going on with him?
Working. Man, he's got the baby. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
It had to, you know, he's working, man. I bet he's working 50, 60 hours a week now. Wow. He's putting it in.
I was getting nervous. I was going to actually reach out to him because I saw him selling some bigger, older stuff, and I'm like, man, I hope he's not like, now he's got the new baby. I hope he's not like, shit, this is getting to be too hard. I was like, I hope he ain't getting out or something.
No, he's not getting out. He slowed down. He slowed down quite a bit. But I get it. You know, you got a baby. You only have a baby so often, and you got to put that time in. And
it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yep.
Definitely a lot with the kids.
Yeah, and then when you try to, like, luckily I've been retired for 10 years, so I get to do all of it. You know, that's the thing with me. I retired building homes. I actually, you know, did a lot of developing. I developed land and built homes for 10 years of my life. And that's what pulled me away from all this stuff. And once I retired, I was bored, didn't have nothing to do, and that's how I got back into it. And it's like boom, which I would do this stuff for free. I love it, but like I said, when you have your kids, it changes everything.
Yeah.
And when you have a job that's demanding, and something's got to chill. You know, you either got all your time in the animals, you got all your time in sports, you got all your time at the job. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
And Noah's learning that his baby's the most important. That's awesome. He's a great daddy too, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, I love Noah. He's such a good kid. Noah's awesome.
Yeah, he's been with us for a long time. I mean, he's a good dude. He's the best.
Yeah. That's great.
He's funny and shit.
So let me ask you this. Yeah, he is. He's fun to hang out with at the shows for sure. Yeah. What would you say is your ultimate goal retic project? Like, what's the one snake you want to make, or the one snake? Is it the fruit basket jag stuff you're talking about, or is there something beyond that that's like your pinnacle that you want to make?
I don't know. Really, like I said, I've answered this. I've kind of said this answer on a lot of different questions, but man, I'm a true lover of all of them. And like I said, from a normal all the way up to a purple albino, it just blows me away. Just that we have them and we can interact with them now. Where 25 years ago you couldn't. It was different. So like I said, I'm a kid in the candy store, but I'm a big fan of OGS. The stuff Shane's working, that OGS purple stuff. Wow, man, I've got it coming, but he's out there. He's up there. And really, I think the purple OGS stuff is probably some of the most brilliant colored animals out there. I mean, the color is so, especially when you put his OGS to the purple is insane. You know what I mean? If you know OGS, there's a difference. There's a big fluctuation between OGS and from the next guy's OGS. And some people say it's quality, some people whatever. But with Shane, dude, his is bred generation after generation after generation.
It's all that line breeding, man.
Yeah, it's line bred. So guess what? It's going to be more vibrant. It's going to have that more. Where you can have OGS that's gold, like a dark orange, and then you have OGS that's brown, and it's like there's a big difference there. And
it's a huge difference,
yeah, and people don't see it until you have it. See, I've got a lot of OGS, some wicked OGS here. I got some of my favorite animals here is OGS. So the OGS into the purple phase is probably where I want to go. And I like the inline, like I said, I bred dogs forever, and dogs and, these snakes are the same thing, especially when you're inline breeding versus inbreeding. I believe that inbreeding is a bad thing that people do all the time. They say, it's a reptile, they can do it. I don't believe that. I believe that the inbreeding versus inline breeding is different. You know what I mean? And when you inline breed, which I can go in this for a long time, because inline, when you're breeding, to really figure it out, it's when you breed grandpa to granddaughter that gives you the best genetics. But it also gives you the worst too. You get 7 of the best, 7 of the worst as far as the genetic pool works. But you cut half of the gene pool out. You know what I mean? So people don't realize you're going to actually, in the long run, you can develop weaker snakes when you inline breed like that. You know what I mean? You're going to make prettier snakes, but you're making weaker snakes. And that's something that I've noticed on the Burmese python. Back in the day, like 20 plus years ago, you could have Burmese and you couldn't kill them. I don't care what you did, you couldn't kill them. Now, if you open a window and you get a small breeze in your house, they're getting sick. They're going to get a respiratory infection like that. And it's like, I'm scared to death. I love Burmese, but man, I cannot figure them out for nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how weak have they let this animal get? With the inbreeding, and the cross, and the inline. You know what I mean? Right. So you start losing genetics or gene pool. I should say gene pool when you start doing a lot of that stuff. And that's what I'm noticing. But like I said, as long as you're outcrossing and you're bringing the new blood in, and and like I said, me and Shane talked about this for hours one night at a show. And Shane actually gets it. He understands, and I understand it too.
Yeah.
And we had a good long conversation, and I know exactly what he's doing. And dude, I got to take my hat off for it, man. He's got some of the prettiest snakes I've seen.
That purple OGS stuff, I was like, when he first made it, I remember seeing pictures of it. I was like, man, there's no way they're that red. And then when I went and saw them in person, I was like, holy shit, man! Like they're pretty close to what the pictures look like. It was just crazy. So he actually, I wasn't gonna do it because I'm not a Jag guy. I don't like Jag, but when he just did those, he just made those purple Jag
OGSs. I got Jag OGSs here too.
So I picked up a male purple Jag hogs from him because I got a female that's like 2.5-year-old, a marble double het purple OGS. So I'm gonna try to make marble Jag OGS purples, purple marble Jag OGS. So
I've got that working now too. I'm working. Well, I ain't far. I mean, it's gonna take me a couple of years to get to it, but I'm all over that because I think it's gonna be the baddest animal in the world is a marble Jag OGS, a marble motley Jag OGS. It's going to be insane. Purple.
Yeah, so I mean that's like I'm not a Jag guy, but man, the purples, just his purple stuff is so cool, and I'm like, fuck, I got to get something for this female, and I'm like, well, this would be the best route to go. So I was like, screw it. I mean, it has a wobble, which fuck, it is that's how they are. Just got to accept it because I was like, I'm not.
Is it just what you say? Just an OGS?
It's a purple Jag hogs.
Oh,
so
well, you know something that I've learned. And I don't know if this is true or not, but what's I have learned here. It seems like Motley cleans it up really good. Really? And I got Phantom Motley, Platinum Jag here now too, and none of them wobble.
Really?
Wow, because usually your best one's always going to be the one that tanks. You know what I mean? It's always the best one that'll have an issue. And it's like, wow. But yeah, and with age, you know, and I've heard this two different ways. Some say with age they get worse. Man, Jake, some of mine has gotten better with age.
That's what I thought. That's what I believe because I've seen like the one that I had here for over a year was my buddy, Andrew. My buddy Andrew's. His was out of the. I always forget if it's the first or second clutch of Jags that Nerd produced. And when he bought that snake from Ozzy, who's the ball python Ozzy Boyd's. So he got that snake. It had a wobble. It wasn't that bad. But dude, that snake over the years got so bad. It's. I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't talked to him about it, so I don't know how bad she was. But when she left my house. I mean, she was every bit 17 foot, dude. I have videos of that snake just like you would think it had IBD or something. It was unbelievably bad. So,
no, but
it wasn't that way when he got her. So it's weird how, I don't know.
So, like I said, you know, some of my babies start off with wobble, and they've gotten better, and then some of the ones like what you told me or what you said a while back were as with age they got worse.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? I don't know. I know a lot of like the Jag stuff I got, like which actually, like I said, when you put the marble to it or the marble or the motley to it, seems to clean it up a ton. But I still get some wobble. And it's like
that's how mine is. I notice it when I'm feeding him. He's kind of goofy a little bit, but
anything that shakes them up. As far as nerves, like when you pull them out, I mean, they get a little funky sometimes with just anything that stresses them a little bit. Yeah, they'll get it, but I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
It is. So I got one more question for you. Well, I got two. Yeah. The first one is with all the shit going on in the community. Where do you see our community headed, law-wise? You know, just the fighting within the community. Like, where do you see us headed? The Retic community.
Man, I'll be honest. I'm pretty scared. You know what I mean? You know, I've been a gun builder for a long time. You know, did a lot of guns, and the thing with guns, and I always try to put this two and two together. The thing with guns is you have the NRA.
Yep.
And the NRA is so big and powerful that they can stand up tall. You know what I mean? And you ain't going to mess with the NRA. On the other hand, you have USARC.
Yeah.
USARC, we still having trouble getting members in. It's a different world. It's the same type of fight.
Yep.
Same type of fight, but our numbers are down. And when you deal with guns, I mean, you gotta be NRA. You have to. That's part of it. But it's not. How should I say? It's not as important in the snake world. You know what I mean? We still have issues with amongst ourselves.
You're right.
We're fighting or bickering, or we're bitching. This cage is not big enough. This cage is too big, or this cage, whatever. We still are having issues, or we're still throwing feeding videos up online. Yeah. When I say we, I ain't talking about me and you, but as a community, we still can't figure out why are we still putting animal feeding videos up online. There's a lot of things that rub people wrong, and a lot of our community don't think out. They don't think outside the box. They'll just do silly stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't have. Our USARC is only us. We don't have an NRA. You know what I mean? So until we get our members, till we get the volume up, till we get some talking. I mean, what's going on in Florida is sad, man. That is wow. That's the best state in the world to live, but I wouldn't want to live there. You know what I mean? What's going on? North Carolina, I think, going through shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a matter of time for everybody to be going through this. And it blows me away where, some of the communities point at us, well, we ain't got retics, we ain't got to worry about that. Or we ain't got monitors, we ain't got to worry about that. Man, it's going to happen.
It's going to go that way. It's just a matter of time.
Yep, and there's nothing, like I said, with guns. I've been fighting this with guns forever. You know what I mean? They always want to take our AR-15s. They always want to take our semi-automatics and this and that. They've been doing that all the time. But we have the NRA. USARC, we need our numbers up. We got to get our numbers up. And, I think that's what's holding us back. We don't have a large enough volume. I mean, snake, I don't know in the world the percentage of reptile lovers, versus normal people. I mean, everybody loves guns. 50% of America, I would say, love guns. But I'd say in the reptile world, probably, I don't know, it's a guess, but I'd say 10 to 20%, because the world thinks they're evil animals when they're not. The world's taught that they're evil, but they're not. So it's a scary deal, man. Especially when you put and invest the kind of money that I've done, the kind of money you've done, the time that you've done. I mean, hell, what are you 15, 20? You're almost 15, 20 years into this, ain't it?
Oh, I mean, I've had retics.
I'm talking about since you've been breeding, selling.
Oh, breeding, it's been probably about that long, 15 or so, maybe. Yeah. But I mean, the snakes have always been a thing, right? My whole life since I was a baby. So it's crazy. Like that shit was. I mean, when I started, it was kind of on the upswing, right? It was starting to get huge, but man, it was still like to think like we're gonna be probably back underground hobby at some point again. That's most likely where it's gonna end up if we don't do something, right? I mean, it's.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome episode so far. We're an hour and 30 in, but man, Jim's got a lot of cool stuff over there. I would love to get over to his place and check out his stuff one of these days. Read some of these comments. Todd asking about anaconda price. I'll have to ask him. I didn't even see this comment. I'll have to ask him what the prices are for anacondas. $100. They're way more than that, Todd. If you're still on. Taylor's here. Nikki, Travis is still here. We got about 10, 11 people still in. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through our little technical difficulty we had earlier. I need to just make sure to plug this thing in, this Ethernet cable. That Wi-Fi I had a feeling it was going to take a shit on me, but I thought we could get through it. Apparently not. Let's see, any others? Yeah, 17.5. That is a big green anaconda, Travis. Getting a beer.
Yeah, about to pee on myself. I'm telling you, I've been hoping this whole time.
I'm old. That's what happens when you get old, man.
I'm telling you, I got old.
Can't hold it that long.
I got old man blood. I get up, dude. Jake, wait till you get old. You're gonna figure this out, man. As you're young, you're strapping young buck. Get it all done now while you're young, because when you get older, man, it gets tougher. It gets harder.
I feel it, man. I'm not that. I mean, I'm almost 40, so I mean, I'm almost 40, so I feel it. I ain't no 20.
Oh, I didn't know you was almost 40.
Yeah, I'm 30.
I'm 45, so
I'll be 38 in February. So I mean, I'm 37 and a half ish. So.
My mom used to always tell me this, dude. She said once you hit 40, that's when you're gonna feel it. So she said once you hit 30, you're gonna start feeling it. Yeah. But once you hit 40, that's when it's oh shit.
Yeah, I already feel it. My knees are shot from basketball and stuff. So getting out of bed every morning is a disaster. Like it's brutal, absolutely brutal.
No, my back, my knees. I like I said, all the sports I played. Yep. Yeah. Weight, powerlifting. I did all that stuff, and
it takes a toll on you, man. Catches up for sure. Well, yeah. So we're an hour and a half in, and I think this was an awesome episode, buddy. I appreciate it. I do have. You know what? I do have one more question. Where? Because I always mean to ask you, and I always forget. Where does Paragon? Because I know you got Paragon Exotics, you got your Paragon dog stuff. What is Paragon, or where did you come up with Paragon? Like, what is it?
Well, Paragon, it was my constructor. Paragon Properties is who I am.
Okay.
I was Paragon Properties. We owned 12 companies at one time, and we were doing everything under roof. Matter of fact, the only thing we subbed out was heat and air and plumbing. Everything else I did in-house.
Okay.
And Paragon Properties was the umbrella.
Gotcha.
And all the companies was underneath that umbrella.
Gotcha.
So we'd buy a farm, pay cash or whatever. We'd buy a farm, and then we'd go to the bank. They'd give us the money for the infrastructure. We would actually done right excavate. We put the infrastructure in. We'd get paid to do that. Then we would sell lots, or then we would get the lots zone, get them all done, and buy the lots from our building companies. And it was just that's how people, shoot. I started building homes when I was 26 years old.
Damn.
And it was a big, huge ball. And I retired and sold all my companies probably about right around 10 years ago. Sold them all out. The FDIC come in. They wasn't giving good people loans. You couldn't get a spec home. All the foreclosure homes was all over the world. So they got the builders. So we couldn't build. You had to buy used homes. And to get a new home or new construction was $100,000 out of your pocket. It don't matter if you had an 840 empirical score. If you didn't have $100,000 in your pocket, guess what? You wasn't building shit.
You ain't building no house.
Yeah. Obama was saying you're gonna go buy that old house over there. That's what you got to do. You can get that loan easy, but you ain't getting that new construction home.
Right.
And so when they did that, man, I just called it in, and like I said, I sold out, and man, got retired. And sit on the couch for a few years, got bored out of my mind, got in trouble, a couple DUIs, and it's like,
oh fuck.
Yeah, so I had to get into something. You know what I mean? I'm the one of them type of guys. If I ain't doing something, I'm gonna get in trouble. I just, not in a bad way. I don't do bad stuff, but I do stupid stuff. Driving, drinking. That's a pretty dumb thing to do, especially with me. But which I got 2 DUIs within a month of each other. And it's like,
God damn.
Nah.
Oh shit,
so I had to do it. Yeah, I ain't done it since. So I mean, it's been 10 years. I won't touch a car now.
Yeah. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Well, so I was always wondering. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I knew there was some meaning to it because I see your dog stuff and then the reptile stuff. So I figured
it's always been good luck. I actually look at it as like my good luck thing. It seemed like everything I've touched has always went to gold, and the Paragon thing's always been there. So I'm one of them guys that I like to. If it works, I stick to it.
Absolutely.
So that's how it kind of goes there, man.
Awesome, dude. Well, hey, I appreciate you, man. I'm happy we got this done at such short notice too. This was kind of like, hey, you want to do it? Yeah, sure. Let's do it this way.
Thanks for inviting me on this, man. Listen, I always watch a lot of the people that come in here all the time. I always watch you guys on there, and I always think, man, that'd be cool to sit up there and talk.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, I got a big list, man. It's just the time, dude. It's just right now, you know, summer. There's so much going on. When it's winter, it's a little easier. I got more time to do this, but man, it's just busy right now. So yeah, I wanted to get one in. People have been bugging me. When's the next show? When's the next show? And I'm like, shit, I should just try to do one. So
yeah, that's the problem with the Retic roundtable. You know, during the summer, Sal works nonstop.
Yeah.
I mean, he's slammed, but we're probably, I don't know, at the next Tinley, I think we're going to try to get and really we want to get all the Retic breeders, all of our buddies.
I know, we tried it last time, the fucking technical difficulty.
No,
goddamn Noah, man.
Noah had a cricket phone. Remember? Noah had that cricket phone.
God damn, man. That was awesome, man. We had a bunch of guys there. Gavin.
We had all the big dogs. Yeah, we had all the big dogs. Now the big hitters was in the house. And sure enough, Noah didn't pay his cricket bill that week.
He fucking dropped the ball on that one. Fucking
he's gonna give me hell tomorrow. What the hell? No.
I'm gonna get him on here. I'm gonna get him on one of these days too. He's on my list. I want to get Keith on. I want to get Sal on. All these guys. So
they're all
run through the list. You know. So
but the next Retic roundtable that we're gonna do, we're gonna try to get the crew together. And when I mean the crew, I'm talking about all of them. So you, Shane, the whole shebang, all the big boys.
Oh yeah.
And, we're gonna have some fun. And you know how it goes. You know, we just drink some beer and cut up, man. But thank you, hey Jake. Thank you for inviting me on, man.
No problem, buddy. I appreciate it. Hey, are you going to be at? You're not going to be at Schaumburg next weekend, are you? I know you were kind of on the fence if you were or weren't. So
I've been talking to Nick and Sal and Keith and them, and I'm not going to be displaying or showing, but I might end up going to help Keith and Nick. I'll go and help them watch their booths and whatever, so they can have some fun too. But I haven't really pulled the trigger yet. I got 3 lace females here ready to drop eggs.
Oh fuck!
So
it's hard. It's a hard decision to take off.
Yeah, and black dragons. I got black dragons about to drop too.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, with the lizards, man, you just
gotta be there.
That could be a $70,000 spell.
I don't blame you, but if you do show up, it'll be a good time for sure. So
are you? So you're gonna be there?
Yeah, I'm vending. I don't have a ton of shit. I literally got a clutch due to hatch next week. I got a clutch due to drop in 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, I got a little bit of stuff coming.
Well, man, if you need anything, I'm here, brother.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Love you, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for coming. I will talk to you soon. So. All right, Jim. Take it easy, buddy.
Boogie boss.
All right. So that's Jim from Paragon, the man right there. So if you guys haven't, make sure you guys share, like, subscribe, do all that stuff to the channel. And if you guys are going to be in Schaumburg, make sure you stop and say what's up. So I'll be there vending. So take it easy, guys.